welcome to the Scratticus Academy. It is the finale of Call of Cthulhu Twilight Sands tonight. So before we hop in, please check out the links. They're all coming up in chat now. And a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm and also Magehand Press, who we couldn't do this without. So please go check out their links. Otherwise, we're going to hop around and say hello to all these lovely people here. So we are going to start with Mal. Oh, hi, Mal.
Hi. You can find me on Twitter at Malhadale. You can find me next season here on the Academy again. I won't say anything else because secrets, but I'm not screaming internally or drinking whiskey at 6 in the evening. No, not at all.
That's the spirit. Right, so let's hop around and say hello to the lovely Brit, or Atomic Firebird.
Concern. Hi, I'm Brit. I'm Atomic Firebird on the Twitterland. And I am here with all of the ties that I have worn all season, and I will miss them and all of you lovely chat people. When this show's over, I have a sad. All right, that's it.
Thank you, Britt. And then we're going to hop around to the very lovely Nassim. Oh, hi.
Hey, I'm Nassim. You can find me online at Nazgul and also on the Venture Maidens podcast, which also streams Wednesday nights, and I play Salia Newer. But today I'm having separation anxiety because this is my last time being Bo Franklin Bede.
Sad times. I can't believe how fast it's gone by. And we're going to hop over and say hello to Paige. Oh, hi.
Hello. I am Paige. I think everyone knows that by now, but you can find me on Twitter as D&D and Paige. And I am sad face because I no longer get to be a root and toot in Idris Hall. You know, I'm actually really sad about it.
Oh. Good Charlie. Good old Charlie. Then last but certainly not least, Sage Ophelia.
Oh, hi. I'm Sage Ophelia. I'm Holly. You can find me Sage Ophelia here on Twitter. I'll be here on Thursday as well for another finale, and then on Friday I'll be eating ice cream and sobbing into the bowl. I will be playing Maria Santiago, who is a rock and is not going to have her emotions moved by the sadness of not being with Breadstick Boy and Profe Teddy and Charlie, my tequila sister, and Eddie and Bo anymore.
You know she's going to take that as a challenge.
Rock! I'm so sane right now.
I'll just check how many disadvantages I've got. So I'm gonna let's jump into it. So last week was everyone got transformed into a much younger version of themselves, as much as they still had their minds very intact. You were in a 7-year-old version of yourself, and we found Ruth again, and she took the spear. And after Idris had, I believe, shot a circus goer to get Charlie back, who was currently in like a tutu and a ruff, did get Charlie back. And sadly, Aiden got attacked and wounded pretty badly. And Theodore went pretty badass and killed Ruth after seeing this. And after Maria effectively saving Aiden's life, by rolling great first aid, because that's what everyone needs to learn. Aiden passed out shortly after tapping on the professor's shoulder 7 times. And that's where we are as you enter back into the tent. Maria, are you the one carrying Aiden? As you were holding onto him at that point, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. You've got the dog at your heel that is following. And Charlie, still in his ruff and tutu, is sort of perched on Idris's shoulder. Eddie, you find you're now back in your own adult body. Still have that cigarette in your mouth. And Bo, you're also back in your own body, and Theodore, you stand there holding onto the book that Aiden has sort of passed onto you as you all walk in to this circus tent. And the circus music has stopped. You can't smell popcorn anymore. You can't smell cotton candy. You can't hear the laughter of children and families having fun this great day out. As you step into this red and yellow striped tent, there are clowns, there are gymnasts, and there are harlequins as they stand there very solemnly, very upright, almost as if to meet you as you step into this tent. Further back at the tent, you see two more clowns, makeup stretched, almost like that smile, all the way up to the side of the face, those big red smiles, the blue diamonds over the eyes, the pom-poms and the colourful clothing, as they part open another curtain that leads into darkness. What would you like to do?
Are there any mirrors in this room?
Not in this one.
Maria's holding Aiden, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Theodore will rush over to, or just, move over to Maria and get an arm under Aiden to help carry. And he's just like trying really, really hard to be stoic and not cry, but it's not really working.
Yeah, you can feel Aiden just literally like a dead weight beneath you. He's gone straight out, but you can easily, the both of you, carry him forwards. And if you do walk forwards, these clowns, these gymnasts, they very much stand in a line next to you, almost lining your way towards this next curtain.
Do you think this is a trap, or you think it is the way forward?
I say we keep going forward. Save our energy in case there's something past this curtain. Don't feel like fighting off a dozen clowns.
They're too creepy. I'm not a fan. Although I do kind of like Charlie, and I like kind of pull him off my shoulder in this adorable little outfit. He's got a little tutu on, you see. A little cutie. I don't mind.
If you do that, he is frowning intensely as you sort of look at this tutu.
And I kind of just like keep him in my arm like I'm carrying a doll at this point, because I got to keep him feeling real to me right now. I'm like, well, I think I agree with Bo, I guess. I mean, these clowns are creepy as none other. I don't know what they're waiting for, but I don't think I want to find out.
I don't want to overtax you, Prophet Eddie, but do you think you can carry Breadstick Boy by yourself? I'd be much more useful if I had both hands, and kind of like shrugs up to just like covered in blood hands, and like for to spill the drink if we
yes. Could you help me? Could you? And then Theodore's gonna motion to try to get Maria to like hoist Aiden, and he's gonna grab Aiden's two arms and like lean down and then be like carrying Aiden on his back. I know there's a word for that.
Like piggyback style.
Yeah, like a piggyback. He's gonna take his arms and just kind of like lean down and carry him on his back.
Yeah, with both of you, you can easily get Aiden on your back, and it's much easier to carry him now that he's in this position rather than like a dead weight on one side.
Just try not to move or stretch this side too much.
All right. And when Maria says that, Theodore just like stiffens up and tries to walk as like slowly and carefully as possible.
Who's got that flashlight?
Oh,
I think Idris had it last.
Like, what? I guess no. Assume they're right and pull in my bag and pull out a magical flashlight that you just did not know was there. Like, this one?
Yeah, you mind shining it into those curtains?
Yeah, I guess so. And I like turn it on and I walk over to the curtains a little bit closer and kind of like start flashing to see if there's anything.
as you walk past, one of the clowns produces a horn and very quickly, like that, huh, really loudly in your ear. But you cast that light through these curtains, and there's sand, and a wall, and a mirror. Two clowns stood either side.
Well, that's not creepy at all. Y'all see this, right? There's, well, besides the creepy clown honking horns over here, there's two over there by this mirror. The one we gotta get through, I assume.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, let's go for it.
Let's do it. And I'll pull my gun out.
As we walk past the clown that honked, I keep my finger pointed at his face like, don't you fucking try.
He sort of, he leans in and watches you go. And you can see him reaching for the flower at his side, and it just sort of doesn't squirt water properly, but it just sort of dribbles out. And he lets out this horrible laugh, which I'm not going to try and reenact right now.
All right. I'll back into the room.
And what about Eddie? Where is Eddie in all of this?
I'll be last because I have this. I took the spear when Theodore stabbed Ruth, so I've got the spear in one hand and my pistol in the other. So I'll follow last.
Yeah, you can almost back into the room even. You don't have to take your eyes off of these clowns, apart from the two clowns that are in either side of this mirror. One of them holds a set of scales. They look to be made out of balloons. And the other one holds a balloon-shaped heart, which beats. And you can hear it. And in the mirror, you can actually see an image. That image you saw before of the dock, of where Lady Cairo left that day, and you all got on board. You see the town, you see people crowding on, you see people at the marketplace. You see Eddie running.
The only way is to keep going, I suppose.
Yeah, this boat. I'm tired of seeing this boat. Can't even drink the things on it. Eddie still does the thing he's gonna do anyway. Let's just get it over with. I don't know what this thing wants from us, but it loves this boat.
I think next time we see the boat, we try to catch it on fire.
Yeah, I'm taking trains from now on.
I thought we did that already.
I see, but obviously it did not take, so...
Eddie, I'd recommend hiding your face while we're in this place. You're running, so I imagine someone's looking for you.
Sure. He'll... Don't think he's had that tie for a while, so he'll tear off the sleeve of his shirt, I guess, and wrap it around his face.
Just like Bandit Eddie going through. Do you step through the mirror, all of you?
I want to look at... Are there any balloons in the scales?
No, the scales are made from balloons.
Yeah, but like there's no feather balloon within the balloon scales? Okay.
They're not that good at it.
You know, Eddie, I know this is a bad idea, but the part of me, I just feel like we should poke this balloon. Just burst it.
Go ahead.
It's not a good idea, I think, but it sure is a tempting one.
Do you need me to do it?
I mean, I don't have the spear, but Prophet Eddie, what do you think?
Do I want to use the spear anymore?
Okay, then through we go.
Yeah, I guess Charlie can bite it if you want, but
Are you popping these balloons?
I don't know, Maria. Maria seems like it is important. Charlie will bite him. I like hold Charlie up.
These two clowns stand there holding this. They don't move. Their eyes stay open. They're smiling. They don't blink.
Maybe I think we just go on.
Yeah, maybe we just go on. I think you're right.
The balloons, they could be full of poison, or maybe they scare Charlie. He runs off, and then it's a whole nother thing.
To the mirror.
Okay. Do you all step through? Okay. You step through to the other side. And Idris and Maria, you find yourself not at the dock, but in the cafe. That one you went to beforehand, the one where you went and had a drink. Your first toast to setting sail later that day, being two free women, leaving life behind. And you hear the chatter in the bar. You see all the people that were there. And you see Charlotte smoking a long cigarette walk into this bar, sit down by one of the tables. Her helper, sort of the equivalent of Aiden, her aide, bringing in some of the bags and dropping them down and going off to the bar to order drinks. What would you like to do? This is just you two here. The others are not around you. The mirror is not behind you.
Are we where we were when we lived through this before, or are there duplicates of us where we were before?
It's currently like you've just walked into the bar, like when you did walk into the bar.
Maria, didn't we did this actually.
See? I mean, if it was actually, or I don't know, maybe this was before?
Yeah, I guess we're back where we started. I don't really know, but do you think there's any way we can stop everything, or even if this is real? This isn't real.
No, it's not real, but
You want a drink?
You know, I think a drink would be absolutely perfect.
Right, and I'll go up to the bar and get 2 tequilas.
You head up to the bar and fingers up, say 2 tequilas, and the barman walks straight past you, serving someone else.
All right, so new plan. Since we cannot drink anything still, maybe we look for the on Charlotte, the tattoo she had.
Mm-hmm.
And if she has one, we just shoot her and move on with our lives.
All right, spilling the juice. Okay, and if we go up to Charlotte, does she acknowledge us?
She doesn't acknowledge you at all. She continues to smoke her cigarette. And you see her look over at the bar where her helper was. And I need you to both roll me a spot hidden check, please.
What a surprise.
Ooh.
Okay. Idris, you notice her look over to the bar. And her aide is getting drinks. He's picking up 4 glasses and a bottle. And she looks to him, and he makes the motion of, and points to the door as you both walk in. Past you. As you walk in happy and go up to the bar and have a drink. And Charlotte smiles and nods to her aide and beckons for him to come back over.
Okay. We are on plan 3 now. We shoot the aid. I don't think that would solve anything.
No, I think you just want to shoot someone, which I don't blame you. You saw that, right? That whole thing where she knew we were coming.
Maybe we shoot everyone. But if he gets the drinks, maybe he put something in the drinks. See?
All right, and we can check him out, I guess. Like check his pockets or something, and look at the drinks now before they get to us.
I want to kind of poke Charlotte.
Go straight through her.
Oh, damn! This is some spectral business right now. I don't know about this, and I kind of go over to the gentleman, the aide. I'm just looking around because I know I can't touch him, so I'm just I don't know if I see any drugs.
And you have a look and there's nothing. He literally buys the bottle. If you remember, he opens it at the table. As you watch your two past selves walking over, and you see that conversation with Charlotte and how she beckons you over and says she prefers the company of women anyway. And that you should have a drink with her. And he brings that bottle over and sets the glasses down, and then he opens the bottle and pours you each tequila. And you drink. And you talk about traveling on the Lady Cairo. You show your tickets. She smiles and she talks with you. She offers you a cigarette before she excuses herself. Her aide picking up the bags, and they leaving both of you to enjoy your drink.
Should we follow her? Maybe she does something in between. I mean, we know what we do. We drink.
See. We could follow her. We could try to see if we can find out more about what anyone else was doing before this. Maybe who Eddie stole from or is running from.
Yeah, I guess. I guess to start follow her and see if we see anyone else.
Okay.
You can leave the cafe. You leave yourselves effectively behind, sharing the end of that bottle of tequila, and you walk out and you can weave through this crowd because they're quite obvious. Charlotte's quite striking, and her aide not so much, but glued to her side. And can you both make a listen check for me, please?
It's that other thing I'm good at.
Yeah, you both are. You both can sort of weave in between this group or this crowd, all these people, and you hear them talking. You hear the words perfect candidate. No one will follow them. They want to leave. They want to travel on their own. There's no one else with them. It's almost like they want to disappear. Escape the lives they already have. And this is met with nods, agreement, discussions. And you see from where you showed your tickets, they have noted down your room numbers on a napkin from the cafe.
Well, that's quite rude, Maria.
See, I agree.
We got duped. Got duped real bad.
I mean, she's not wrong, no, to be fair.
Yeah, but besides the point, I wanted to disappear into like paradise, not into like some form of desert hell.
See, I wonder what her goal is, though. I mean, we know she has money now, or dead, very, very, very dead for a very long time. So what would she need us for? What are we the candidates for?
I don't know. Why did she need our room numbers? Did she like put something in there?
Or maybe to send the black hooded people?
Oh, yep. It's almost like I forgot the horrors we started out with.
I mean, there have been so many worse horrors coming our ways.
Creepy crawlies, small children.
Breadstick boy. Ruth.
Ruth, yeah. Ooh. At least we're not Ruth. We might be no one and have no one left behind, but we're not Ruth.
See, and we're not Charlotte either, so far as we know. We're not dead, dusty mummies rotting away in some desert hell, as you say.
Yep. Well, we're not going to be old biddies together, I think, in the end of this business, but, you know, they're going to make us perfect candidates for something. They're going to go out with a bang.
We'll show them how perfect we are.
All right. And should we keep following her, or do we, I guess?
I think yes, because if she wants to come after you and I, then how did the rest get roped into this? I mean, are there more people like Charlotte looking and picking their people? Or does Charlotte just decide that we are all the good candidates to be tossed into this hell?
That's true. I guess let's keep following her and seeing what she wants with us.
And you can follow, and you can weave through the crowd, following her towards the Lady Cairo. And we're going to hop over to Bo, Professor, Theodore, and Aiden. And you two have stepped into this crowd, but you're by the dock. You can hear the gulls above. You can hear the Lady Cairo getting ready to depart. Lots of chatter, lots of liveliness. You can feel the heat on your face. This is like you are there again. As you stand there, you're still carrying Aiden. It's just you and Bo.
Well, where do you think the first place we should look is?
I don't know. Maybe we can find Eddie before he falls in the water.
Yeah. We're just on the top deck, right?
You haven't even boarded the ship yet.
Oh, okay.
You're literally on the dock. And as you stand there looking around, you can hear a yell in the distance of someone telling someone to halt. But also in front of you, you see Aiden, laden with bags, shuffling forward. He's got duffel bags half on him. He's got some bookcases. You recognize that bag that always carries your bow ties, Theodore. And behind him, you see Bo, and you see yourself having that conversation about the trip you're going to go on.
We overworked him.
Well, you know, sometimes that builds character.
Aiden slumped over Theodore currently.
Right.
But he's gonna be fine, Theo. We've got him. We're not letting him go, okay? We just got to get through all these hallucinations and come out the other side.
Yes.
Right. Part of me is thinking it's a bad idea to be near our other selves. I don't know. I think it's gonna just throw us off our game and we'll lose sight of who's who and what's what, so maybe we should avoid ourselves.
Or we could warn ourselves.
I mean, I don't think there's any change in the past, but
You're probably right.
As you say that, you hear a bark. And you hear, "Gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there," as John Cooper bumps into Aiden, where Aiden almost drops all of his bags and starts panicking, trying to scoop them back up again, being very, very apologetic. And you watch John Cooper greet you all, shake your hands, and you can hear him just sort of, "Oh, you should come for a drink later. Up on the top deck by the restaurant. It's fantastic." And you hear him chat away to you. And then to the man behind him who's fussing sort of, you can see that white jacket, the same uniform of someone who works on the boat. He's like, "Would you get my bags on? Hurry up, man." As he sort of you see this worker for the boat sort of hurry on with his bags. And John looks at the past versions of you and goes, "Useless, can't get help anywhere." And as you walk past, you see him linger back. And another of these workers from the boat in those white jackets, he pauses and his voice changes. "Those three." And the man nods. You hear John clear his throat. "Come on, Caswell," and starts walking onto the boat.
Those three what? Theodore's gonna holler out.
There's nothing.
You answer me!
You notice the people that look like they're bumping into you are actually going straight through you. Someone sort of passes almost directly through Bo in front of you.
They can't hear us.
oh well. Kind of like it that way, to be honest. I don't want to follow that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to follow him.
You follow up that sort of that gangway. It's almost if you're there, like you feel your footsteps creaking on this wood, working its way up. And you can follow yourselves, effectively, to the rooms. You see Theodore handing you both out your keys and your tickets, showing which room you're both in, as he drags the bags and sort of dumps them in each room. And you see them all disappear into one of them rooms.
If this is just another mirror thing, then do you remember where there were any mirrors in the boat?
No. But we could just start searching. Maybe there's some kind of ballroom or something like that. I don't know how big this thing is, if it has a room like that. But
I don't remember. It was so long ago.
And you see one of the doors open. You know it was to your room, Theodore. And you see Aiden sort of... you see yourself walk in to Aiden, who is currently laying out all of your shirts and all of your bow ties and sort of outfits. You can hear the exchange. I'm talking about being invited for a drink up on deck. They both both leave the room. You see Bo appear out of his room, sort of head to join you, walking towards the deck. And one of those men in the white jackets walks, opens your door, and disappears into it. And we're now going to hop over to Edward, who you appear in a bustling crowd. You can hear yelling. You almost recognize this yelling, but it's kind of like a distant memory, a distant dream, almost like you're hearing it from underwater, no pun intended. And you can see sort of shouts in the crowd parting as something is coming your way. And suddenly something crashes into you and you knock over. And you see yourself turn round and look back at you, not giving a second glance to the man with the scarf tied round his mouth, as you yell back sort of sorry and keep sprinting as the authorities chase you through this dock, running. And when you look, there's about 4 or 5 of them. And I need you to make a spot hidden check for me, please.
Failure.
Okay. You don't see anything too discerning about these people, but you can tell they're definitely on your trail, and they're sprinting towards you. A man behind them in a white jacket, not following them, just merely watching. And you feel like you hear and feel this splash of water as past self tries to make a running jump. And for a moment you suddenly feel like that wash of cold over you, but it disappears again. And you can see 2 women, Maria and Idris, at the top of the boat, seeing if they can help pull you in. And a man in a white jacket stands behind them, helping. What would you like to do?
You said there was also a man in a white jacket closer to me?
Yes. It's more that he hasn't noticed you. The authorities have run past you, and he's slow walking past.
I would like to try and follow that man.
Mm-hmm. And you can. And you follow him, you watch him walk up the gangplank, watch him nod to a few others that are dressed exactly the same. And he looks past at you, and you can look down to the left and you can see Idris and Maria pulling you out of the water onto this boat as you sit there soaking wet, padding around, but your cigarettes are soaking as you sort of empty the packet and you sort of almost like paper mache fall out. And a different man in a white jacket passes you a towel.
I would like to walk up the gangplank and see if any of the people... I want to walk up the gangplank and see if any of the men in white coats that I didn't notice, the first time we lived through this, react to me being there.
Okay. You can walk towards it, and as you do, you can hear the Lady Cairo taking off, leaving port at this point, because you can see the authorities, what you didn't see before. They're still looking for you. Where you've slumped down at the side, they can't see that you are on board. And you see them looking and then take off in another direction. And you walk down the back of the boat, you see Maria and Idris taking you in the direction of the bar, the restaurant. And you see 3 men stood at the back where the paddles are and the engine. And they're tinkering with it. They're doing something. You see them say to some passing people, just engineers, making sure everything's fine. And you see one of them stop as soon as the 3 of you walk past and looks. A thief doesn't want to be found. And the other one nods and walks away. Walks straight towards you and through you. And you feel a little hand in yours.
I tried to warn you.
And that little girl is holding your hand.
He squeezes the little hand in his and just says, I know.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
I tried to show all of you so many times. You didn't even see it when we were at the hotel.
And there's a quick flash to where you sat down at breakfast and you looked over at the table at the other end of the room and you thought you saw Theodore for a brief moment before it disappeared.
I really tried. I took you back to the different instances, but look, let me show you.
And she starts to walk you down towards the restaurant. Back with Maria and Idris, you can follow yourselves effectively. You see yourself scoop Eddie off the side of the boat, soggy as ever, patted down with towels. And you also meet up with Bo and Theodore. Theodore offering, Bo offering that spare jacket to Eddie to dry off because he was soaked. And you see Charlotte sat on the top deck by the restaurant. And you see John Cooper sat at another table with Caswell sat by his feet. And Charlotte beckons over to you, past you. And you watch all yourselves sit down and chat and drink. And you're all laughing. You all order different drinks. And you see her click her fingers and point over to the barman. Drinks for all. And then you notice her now, from this different point of view, glance over at John Cooper and make eye contact. A stony glare. As the waiter brings across 5 glasses. Before he does, he has his back to you, very much like he did at the beginning, when he turned to make the drinks. He doesn't open the bottle. That's too obvious. So he puts the poison round the rim of the glass instead. And he brings it over to the table where you all sit. Present Eddie, present Bo, present Theodore. You can start walking up towards this restaurant and you can see Idris and Maria standing there witnessing this. You can witness it too.
Well,
Aiden doesn't drink because Aiden isn't there.
Well, so I guess maybe. Are we dead?
I don't know. I think we're either dead or we're high. I don't know what they did. I don't know what that is, and I don't know if I want to know the answer to what we are right now.
Can we see the little girl with Eddie?
You can see the little girl with Eddie. She looks over at all of you and is like, "Nah," and just waves, as she always has done.
Why is she here?
She said she tried to show us things the first time. She said she brought us to all the different instances. But sometimes we didn't see.
To show us what? Were you the dog monster that freaked the shit out of me in the hotel?
And you
Little
just
girl?
Excuse me?
like, as she looks up at you, you can see there's almost like more of a realism to her now. Like there's more of a real person. There's less of a
Spooky
of
wookie.
an illusion. Yeah, there's less spooky wookie.
What's wiki wiki?
I just threw water all over myself. I'm an adult. I can do this.
Well, listen. If we are dead, we are dead. But I still feel alive, so maybe it doesn't matter if we're alive or dead, or if we saw your signals or no. And maybe we just have to keep going. Maybe this didn't even happen. Maybe it's just a trick.
This has to be a trick. We need to find the other mirror. We're supposed to do a certain number of mirrors. This is no.
Who told you that?
The mirrors.
Oh no.
Well, if you've been trying to help us this whole time, have you seen any mirrors around?
No. Not on the boat anyway.
I mean, there are mirrors in the bathrooms, right? There must be.
You're right. Let's go to the bathrooms.
And
Saw some mirrors off of the boat.
Well, yeah, but you just left port.
Well, we could get Soggy.
I don't really want to, but
Eddie's like, no.
I don't know if ghosts sink or float. I don't think I want to try out.
I was just trying to show you. Look.
And you watch all of yourselves laugh and chat and drink this poison. You see the professor stand, walk back to his room, lay down, and go to sleep. You see Eddie get up, take a packet of cigarettes from Charlotte that she offered, just in case, just as extras. He heads back to his room and goes to sleep. Maria and Idris, you do something very similar, but you take the bottle with you. And Bo, you stay there, talking to Charlotte. You were the last to go to bed. As you sat there, and the darkness swirled, and you blinked a couple of times, and you could see footsteps. Wet footsteps on the decking. Were they actually there? And something you see with all of you is how almost drunk you look. But not drunk, just dazed, just out of it, just hallucinating. You hear the scream at the back of the boat. But this time you can see what it is. As Aiden is chased, grabbed and forced into a room where he tries to fight back and stabs a white-coated waiter in the chest as he is too attacked and drugged. And the waiter staggers and lands in Beau's room, on Beau's bed where you found him. And Aiden passes out. You see he is dragged away.
He's better with that knife than I would have thought.
That's not how any of this happened, because that was the night with the knocking and I had no mouth.
Was it this night or was it when we were in the hotel?
I don't remember.
I remember the knocking being the hotel.
Great.
When we shared the room. Locked the bathroom.
I don't know.
So did none of this happen? Then, like, nothing happened? Or are we just asleep?
Fully wrestled a man to the ground. How could that have been fake?
So much disappointment now. Damn it, man. I wrestled a man to the ground.
I mean, but if we, come out of this, I'm sure you and Eddie can wrestle to the ground and you can feel just as manly.
Yeah, that makes up for the fact that we were drugged.
I mean, maybe no, but I still want to know drugged for what? I mean, we heard Charlotte talking. She said we were perfect, that we were trying to get away from our past, and we thought maybe you also... Maybe she picked you too, but we didn't hear anything about you. So what would a mummy want with people who are trying to escape, or whatever Charlotte is, want with people who are trying to escape their past? I mean, is this all some weird otherworld thing where we get kicked over and try to fix Egyptian nightmare world? I don't know.
And the little girl squeezes your hand again, Eddie. And she looks slightly nervous, actually, in front of the others this time. She's appearing a lot more like a child now. And she almost sort of beckons for you to, like, dip your head down so she can whisper into your ear.
People don't miss people like you. You're trying to not be found.
But why did she want to do this to us?
And she sort of shrugs and points in the direction of the restaurant, where you see Charlotte walking down past the rooms in a sleeveless dress, almost like an evening gown. There's that tattoo on her arm, but there's also a snake wrapped around the staff. And each of your bedrooms are opened. You're all asleep in all of them. And she smiles, she nods. And soon John comes from the other side and walks towards her, accidentally knocking some of these oil lamps as he goes. He's quite tall. And he looks to her, and in his real voice, "Are the sacrifices for the Lord of Chaos ready?" And she nods. "If all goes well, we meet Port and we take them to the temple." And he nods. And they both walk in separate directions, away from each other. Almost like they don't want to be seen in each other's presence. And all of you see Aiden, being removed from one of the rooms by a hooded figure. The ones that dressed in black, and they place him in a rowboat, and some of them set off in the direction towards the bank, and you see them starting to unload each and every one of you one by one. And you see all of you toss and turn as if you're in a nightmare, like a fever dream. And you'll stand and watch.
Lord of Chaos and sacrifice, and we're over there, but we're over here. I don't really know where we are right now. What does Lord of Chaos possibly want with us? Are we getting eaten by a snake right now? Is that what's happening?
Well,
I don't know what the hell this is for, but I'm not letting this shit happen, so I want to start running around the boat looking for a mirror.
You start sprinting around the boat, and as you do, the others watch you go, and you see Bo's footprints leave damp footprints the entire way around the decking, lapping over and over again. You look down at your feet are wet, where you've been loaded into the boat on a different level of plane of reality. You chase your own footsteps around the boat in dark clothes. They weren't dark clothed people at all. They were shadows. Your own shadows as you walked in this reality as well as the other. And from the other end of the decking, Theodore, you see that tall man stand. But this time he holds a beating heart in one hand and a set of scales in the other. Eddie, you see those oil lamps swing, very much like you did before. Maria, you hear your gunshot go off as you hit two of them.
Bo, you still alive?
Oh,
Yes.
as Bo laps the boat, comes around.
Where's this damn thing?
And Idris, you see Charlie very much like he did that night. He stands on the railing and he points at the water and screams, because he could see the boats and he could see you being loaded into them the entire time.
Oh, buddy, you tried. I know you can't swim no good. Can I pick up this Charlie, or is it a different Charlie from my Charlie?
This is your Charlie. As he screams and points.
Oh.
Very much like he did before.
I pick him up and give him a big ol' hug.
You can. And Bo, you start lapping the boat. You lap your friends once or twice, and then as you come around the other side, there is a mirror. As if it's appeared at the center of the deck.
Hey everybody, I found one.
All right, let's just get through this. I want to know if I'm dead or if I'm being eaten. I don't really know. I'll go over to Bo.
Little girl, Rebecca it is?
Looks towards you.
Are the mirrors bad?
Not necessarily.
Good. Here's your lesson plan.
I don't know where they're going to take you.
Oh, okay. To the mirror then, I suppose.
Theodore is gonna just like clutch on to Aiden, like trying to determine if Aiden is still real.
Aiden is still there, still very much real. You can feel the weight of him on you now that you've been carrying almost like lactic acid build up. Thank you for those gift subs, Multivet. But you can definitely feel he's there. He is out. You did feel him move briefly when he was dragged, almost like it was a memory move. But he's still out. He's completely passed out.
To the mirror.
All right. And I kind of like shift him because he's starting to get really heavy. I'll follow.
Just looking at the mirror, do we see what the next scene is going to be?
You see sand. Miles and miles of sand. It doesn't look to be within a temple.
I crouch down in front of Rebecca and get to her level. Do you know what we're supposed to do next?
And she looks down at the spear you're holding.
Something to do with that, I think. I don't know. I'm reading on it. I'm reading up on it now, actually.
And there's no book in her hand, but she's like,
I'm reading up on it. So if I know, I'll let you know.
Are you gonna be okay?
and she nods.
Of course I am.
And she puts like this tiny little hand on your cheek where you've come down to the same level as her.
I'll be waiting for you on the other side.
Okay. I promise to make it.
Thank you.
And she lets go of your hand and sprints off in the other direction.
I go join the others by the mirror then.
As you step through the mirror, that heat again, it hits you. And you hear that sort of that moan and that whine of camels. And you can see in the distance where a sandstorm seems to be headed this way. In the distance, a little bit closer to you, you see 5 camels with people sat on top of them, almost looking back at you. And they pause for a moment, and you recognize this scene, but it's like you're looking at it from a completely different angle.
So I guess this is that same thing that we just saw when we were in the desert last time. We saw some other people that kind of look like us, and hey, it's us now. I get it. Ha ha ha! I get it.
So is the mirror between us, or? I mean, we did not find a mirror here, and unless you want to run around until one appears, which I don't think is probably wise given the heat.
I mean, so far, if we've more or less just retraced our own steps, we found the next mirror, so maybe follow them into the temple.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think the sandstorm's gonna bother us now. Well, us there, yes, but us here, no.
I mean, I can still feel how hot it is, so.
True. Maybe it'll be like ghost sand. Just go right through us.
The spectral sands of the desert, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we follow, us, then we'll probably find something. I mean, this god of chaos really enjoys this show, apparently.
Unless it did not work. I mean, clearly we were abducted and knocked out and everything, but why would we see visions of him like the hospital if it worked?
I don't know.
Teddy, remind me, what all do we know about the other gods right now? Because we've learned a few, right?
And he's gonna try like shift around and try to hand you Aiden's book. Right, he's got Aiden on him, so yeah. There's notes in here.
Okay. Eddie will put the gun away and take the book.
And you can open it and see notes that look very scribbled down on Aiden, like making like notes, ideas, some very bad drawings of things where you think he's probably tried to sketch something out quickly. And you can see most prominently the gods mentioned are Anubis, and you can see a little sketch of the statue, and you can also see a little sketch of a cracked mirror from one of the bathrooms in the hotel, and the number 7 circled over and over again in his book, and also the symbol of the snake, the symbol of the serpent, the god of chaos, Prophetess.
Anubis is the god of the dead, right, Teddy?
Does Theodore remember that? Yeah. Yes. Yes? No. Yes. I don't remember.
What if the tall figure we've seen is Anubis? What if Anubis has kept us from whatever sacrifice they tried to make?
Well, isn't Anubis angry at us for stealing his statue? Wait, did that even happen? I don't know.
I don't have any good answers for you. I'm sorry.
But you definitely stole a statue.
Yes.
Because that happened before the drugging.
Yes.
All right.
But that means that all the treasure I stole in that temple doesn't matter.
Does the staff?
Well, if the staff is what we need to stop chaos, I would assume the staff still matters, but I guess I don't know. I mean, who knows how many times we've gone through this? This might not be the first time we've seen past us or future us.
Pretty soon we'll just all be in the woods with bells around us, huh?
Well, I'll be in wherever that place is trying to get in the mirror, I guess.
Look, it can't have been that long, because unless we get out of this and get somewhere to get Aiden medical attention, I don't think I've been carrying him that long. You see?
All make a spot hidden check for me, please.
Oh gosh.
Have I passed one? Have I passed one this whole game?
I got an extreme success.
Of course you did, so you could see all the spooks. Sorry, bear with me, my thing just closed.
I think I only have my sanity because I am just really oblivious.
All of those who passed, especially Eddie, you can see a very tall figure in the distance stood. Their feet do not touch the ground, and they hold a set of scales in one hand and a heart that beats in the other. It doesn't move, but it hovers. And you can see it hover past the group that of you that have taken shelter in the sandstorm. You see Maria sort of there, completely covered, talking to no one as he walks past and casts a look at her. And he keeps drifting towards you.
Us, you, or them, you?
You. This is like a fire and a stick thing all over again.
Spooky wookie us, or
which is that? Because that could be either.
We might
all
be
of them.
us right now.
The toasted
What
breadstick
kind-
boy us, or
What kind of head does this floating figure have on them with my extreme spot hidden success?
As it gets closer and closer, you see it morphs from a human head into a jackal.
this is okay. I don't see anything.
Yeah, you were just like, oh, sandstorm.
Like, is this soul sand? Rose, it's so fascinating.
The heart beats as he holds his hand outstretched. And then holding out the scales, he lifts it higher and points at Aiden.
I get everyone's attention so that everyone sees what's going on before I do anything else.
How do you get the attention? Just because I'm curious. Is it a general jump up and down on the spot sort of panic, or?
I think, I've been a little lax on it, but I think nervous Eddie comes back and he's just like, Anubis is here. Everyone, Anubis is here.
What?
I knew what?
With the spear out, like,
And Charlie starts to not scream, just like screech at Anubis. Not in an aggressive way, almost like sensing that he's there.
Is that really is that a thing with a dog head on it?
See, I think so. Eddie, you got the bus to give back to our friend here? Or Bo, or
Bo had it. Bo had it last.
Hey, Anubis.
Hey,
Just like,
Anubis,
hey!
how's it going?
Hey,
What up, a new boo? I got your thing.
I love this.
Hello?
And it takes, I was about to say step, a glide forwards, and again reaches out with the heart, with the scales, and points to Aiden.
Is this some sort of the weight of a life kind of question?
What do you want with Aiden?
Could Aiden kill the Chaos God? And would that save him?
I mean,
Weigh his heart and see if he's worthy.
What?
How do we do
And
that?
it tips the beating heart onto the scales.
Is that his heart? What? Whose heart is that? And Theodore's voice like squeaks.
it's okay, Prophet Eddie. There's nothing to worry about because Aiden is worth everything. See?
Oh, I know, but he can't survive without his heart in his body.
I mean, we can all survive in two
Oh,
places at
gee.
once and with mysterious wet feet, but here we are.
And it looks towards you all again. The feather.
No, I already gave it back.
Gave it where?
It was a long time ago. I don't remember. I think to some people there was the scale also, and
Oh yeah, to Spooky Wookies, right? They were all standing there and they're like, and you were like, "Gave him the
yeah,
feather."
I don't know. It was the best thing I had at the moment. Kind of pat around to see if it's mysteriously reappeared on me.
Unless you picked it up again.
No. No.
So who has the feather? Who has the feather? One of you has to have a feather because that's what's supposed to happen here.
No feather.
Well, first of all, Mr. Almighty Sir, what does he have to do with any of this? We have your statue. You've been wanting it back this whole time. Can't you just take it?
And this jackal head sort of moves, and you realize it's almost made of stone as you hear it crunch. And the mouth doesn't move, but you hear the voice. You can all hear the voice. You are in the in-between, and he is on the edge. He must be weighed and measured.
Would you use that monkey hair? I think it's a little bit lighter than a feather. And I like pluck one off. Charlie. I'm like, it's for Buster Boy, and I'm like, a monkey hair? Lighter than a feather.
And it just shakes its head and starts to turn and walk away. And Theodore, you feel Aiden get lighter and lighter.
Wait, no. Okay, where's the feather? Help us.
It's in the temple. I found the statue of Anubis. It had the scales, and I put the feather on the scales, and it disappeared. Okay? I don't know what happened to it.
Oh,
Well-
smash the jar. Smash the statue.
Against what? We're in a bunch of sand.
I take a swing at the statue with the staff.
Oh my god. Roll a might check for me, please.
Can I roll my dex?
Or dex, yes, if you're aiming.
Can I
roll your
use my
dex.
one advantage so I don't kill Bo?
You have an honor
Put the
success.
statue. You can put the statue down as well as a heads up. But yes, you can use it if you wish.
Bo, please put the statue down. Because this is going to happen, whether or not you do.
Put it down. I put it down.
Of course, because I spent
Of course,
the
because you
advantage.
spend the advantage. You swing the staff, and the statue, this sort of figurehead of Anubis, smashes.
Please tell me there's a feather inside, because that's what I was hoping.
There is no, no, I'm joking. There was a feather starts to fold out of it as the bits of this statue sort of separate and they hover in the air, as does this feather, almost as if it's stuck in time. It doesn't fall, it doesn't rise, it stays there.
Eddie, go, take it.
Feather. Anubis!
And it stops. It turns
I pick
around
up the feather.
and holds out the scales with Aiden's beating heart on it.
I walk towards Anubis and the scales with the feather out, and before Eddie places the feather on the scales, he looks up at the stone head of Anubis, and he's worth it. Trust me. He puts the feather in.
Anubis watches you do so, and then holds the scales out, very much like in all the hieroglyphics you've seen. As he holds it to his side, and you watch both sides of the scales tip. And Theodore, you can hear Aiden almost in your ear, as if he's mumbling, he's not awake. It sounds like he's answering questions. The feather rises up, the heart drops. The feather drops, the heart rises up, and you feel a weight go on your shoulders, and Aiden is gone. Anubis bows to you, Eddie, and turns and drifts away.
That's not how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to give him back.
I don't think that's how that works.
What?
Based on what we seen, was judged worthy to go to the land of the dead instead of wherever else souls go.
Or he may have been judged to go back to the other side.
That's bullshit.
Maybe he's luckier than us and he got out before any of us, since we're still in this in-between.
Bo might be right. He might be in a much better spot than we are right now.
I think Theodore just kind of flumps down into the sand and is just like sitting on his butt, just like shaking his head.
Eddie walks back over and sits down next to Teddy. He doesn't say anything.
There will be a time, okay, Prophet Eddie, but we need to keep moving.
What do we do now? We don't have Aiden, we don't have a statue.
We have the staff, and we have the mirrors. And maybe if we get far enough, we can just reverse all of these.
Alright.
Can you all make a listen check or a spot hidden check for me, please? Either one is good.
Can't pass that because I didn't spend advantage.
Oh my gosh, I passed.
Okay. So, Bo, you're the first one to It's a mixture of feeling it, hearing it, and sensing it. The ground starts to shake. You can feel it shaking. You actually look and you can see more that you're watching. You see Charlie starting to weird out a little bit, sort of looking at the ground. And you can see some of the sand start to shift, and there's no breeze. There's nothing here. And then Maria, in the distance, at the same time as Bo, you see the ground starting to fall away. And it's headed in your direction.
Everybody look at this ground. We have to go this way. Now, quickly, please.
Yeah. Get up. Get up. Something is coming towards us.
And
we'll shift a couple feet or...
Yeah, you can start. Are you running? Are you just moving out of the way? What are you doing? You see this ground start to open up, almost like a cavern. It's in the distance. You can hear it crack. You hear it start to get louder and louder as the earth starts to rip apart.
I say let's try and be on the other side. If we were walking this way and it's coming towards us this way, or were we walking this way and it's coming towards us just head on?
It's more that it's coming towards from where you were.
Oh.
So from the direction you've come, you walk towards Anubis and it's coming up from behind you.
Oh, I think we should run. I don't think it's gonna stop until it gets us in there. Or until we get away to that temple.
See, I think try to run away from it.
Okay. Towards the temple. Towards our former selves.
You can start sprinting. I need you all to roll me either a dex or strength. Please.
Ah.
I'm always bad at running.
Hard success for the running.
You're so good at that.
I failed a physical challenge. What?
Can I use my auto success for this?
Yes, yeah, of course you can. You can use your auto success. You can all sprint. In particular, Idris is off. Idris has picked up Charlie and is legging it. You can see Bo close behind, but what you will see is Theodore trip and fall, and you see that crack in the earth getting closer and closer as you're all sprinting away. And Theodore, you feel it close to your feet as your feet dip into this huge crack in the earth. Is anyone stopping?
Yes.
Maria, you're
I'll
gonna
stop
need...
too and turn around and help.
Okay, so you can roll again, either a strength or a dexterity, same again.
Me?
Yeah, either one of you, both of you can. Yep.
Woo!
Okay. Professor, you feel like them grab your arms and start dragging you almost both at one arm each and started running in this direction towards the temple as you are dragged. You can see Eddie sprinting. Idris, you are up ahead as you run towards this temple. You can see in the distance yourselves going into the temple. You can hear the yell almost echo round as Bo disappears down that trapdoor type sort of cavern, and you can get closer and closer, and the earth, as you notice, is opening up wider and wider. I need you all to make one more check for me, whether it's dexterity or strength, whichever you would prefer. I love that all of you never ever passed throughout this whole campaign. Okay, you all keep sprinting, apart from Theodore. You sort of feel yourself trip, and you take Bo with you. You sort of drag Bo down, and the rest of you look back as Theodore and Bo, you skid as the earth falls away beneath your feet, and you are holding on to the edge of what can only be described as a cliff face, and you can't see the bottom but you can hear that scurrying.
Am I still hanging on to one of Teddy's hands?
Yes, probably you would be able to, but it hasn't dragged you down. So that's sort of the only thing holding you right now is Maria. Both of you. I need you to make a might check for me, Maria, so you're not dragged down with it.
The strength check?
Yes, please, but I'm going to get you to roll with disadvantage.
Okay. Yeehaw.
Critical.
Ha!
Yeah.
Oh!
My god, a critical one is amazing. That's like the first one we've had. And you manage to hold on and you start to drag Theodore and Bo up out of this cavern. Idris and Eddie, you can see this as Maria is keeping hold on to them. Bo, you can get a foothold on part of this, pushing yourselves up, and Theodore, you're scrambling up, but this ground is still opening up. You can all start running, and I need you all to make one last check, whether it's strength or dexterity.
This, by the odds, I'm gonna fail eventually at this. Just don't make me swim. I'm gonna drown. Don't make me swim.
Just don't make me swim. Yeah,
I want to use my auto success. I failed the last two very badly.
Out of interest, though, can you roll just because I want to see what you
Oh
got?
gosh!
That's a critical.
Fine.
I do want to say, Bo, with your very close to death experience, you sprint right out of there. You charge. It gives you like a kick to go. You've got Maria very close behind you. You've got Theodore. You're not stumbling, but you're keeping up. And there's almost like this wave of sand coming in. You can see this open temple as you can all dive in, and the door closes behind you with this gush of wind as the last second the ground beneath you opens up and you all dive into the temple. As you enter the temple, you're in a different space. This isn't the way you came in. This doesn't look how it did when you first came in here. And there's hieroglyphics all over the walls, and you're actually in a room. There are very shallow pits all around you, and for a moment it looks like the ground is moving within these pits, and then you realize they are black asp snakes all over this room. And up on the wall ahead of you, you see a huge carving. A carving of a being half man, half serpent. There are holes in the walls where his fingers would be, and these asps are pouring out of the holes into these pits. They're not like anywhere near you. They're literally just coming out of the wall and into these pits. And there are different levels to this room. More that it's just not a flat room. They're not high levels or anything like that. There's some pillars that look like they've fallen down as you approached with this huge symbol in front of you.
First of all, Maria, thank you. I am increasingly impressed by you every day. You're a hell of a woman.
Well, Bo, you're one hell of a man also. And, I just hope that the two of you can get your shit together when I, die inevitably.
Me too.
So, anybody here petrified of snakes? All right.
I mean, I'm afraid of everything, but I'm not particularly afraid of snakes.
Just everything.
Well, Eddie, it takes a certain kind of man to admit when he is afraid of everything.
At the center of the room, you see a circle-like symbol. The Eye of Horus sits in the center of it, almost in front of this huge wall, with this carving of the half man, half snake.
Eddie, you're good at stealing things. You want to steal this?
Are you sure that's a good idea?
I mean, we don't want the snake god to take it. Although, if Horus is the one keeping the snake god in, right?
He was keeping the snake god in.
Bird one. Yes. Yes. Yes.
He hasn't really been around.
Horus or the snake god?
Horus, the supposed sun person. I can try to go in there.
This is like a platform, only inches off the ground. The Eye of Horus at the center. And if you start to approach it, you see almost like an image. Now, this very much looks like an illusion. As Beck stands at the center. Friends, you are here. Do you have the weapon? Point at Eddie.
Yeah.
The seal will be broken, the doors will open. Only when the door is open and he is dead can the world rest again. Remember what I said as he looks back at the group. Immortality. And he disappears. And then there's that rumble again. Very much like the one you heard above the ground, where the ground split and the ground opened. And the walls in front of you start to shake and move. It's not a wall, it's a set of doors, huge stone doors, as this huge carving parts. The ground starts to shake, and from inside, somewhere, you can hear screaming. These doors start to slide open. From each and every corner of this door, opening through every crack, through every nook and cranny, you see these tentacles start to worm their way out. Some of them are snakes. Some of them are absolutely these tentacles that start crawling across the wall, across all of the walls, reaching out. You hear that scurrying again, very much like you did in the tomb at the beginning. And all of these eyes peer out of the darkness at you. You see almost like a black liquid start to leak across the floor, and they all start to form into these mummies that crawl across the walls, across the ceiling, towards all of you. And at the center, walking through the darkness, you see Ruth as she walks through. But there's something wrong with her. Like all those other figures, as she starts to grow taller and taller, the sound of bones breaking, her limbs stretching, her fingers stretching, that smile stretching all the way across her face. And I need you all to make a sanity check for me, please. Okay.
Oh no.
So, those who failed, please lose 3 sanity damage as this image sort of comes out towards you, and these huge tentacles start reaching out. They start to wrap around your ankles, wrap up your legs, and they start to pull you to the ground. And they start to try and drag you towards the doors. What do you do?
Look frantically for a mirror.
There are no mirrors.
Start stabbing with my pocket knife at these things.
Yeah,
Roll a brawl for me.
All right. Where did you go, thing? Can I use my advantage for my brawling?
You can. Yes, you can.
Alright, number 1. Roll 20, behave yourself. And then number 2. Oh!
You stab. In fact, the rest of you see Idris. This, as she's getting dragged towards this door, stabbing and lashing out with this pocket knife, and Idris, it's like it can't even pierce this like scale-like skin, and you feel this wrapping around you tighter and tighter. You can feel your limbs getting weaker and weaker, and you can feel it cutting off like your blood circulation, like you are being constricted, and I need you to take 1 damage on your overall hit points as it starts to wrap you up, and very slowly it's trying to cover your eyes and your mouth.
Oh, good God.
What are the rest of you doing?
When we see them start moving, although do we see them start like being pulled?
You can see Idris being pulled, you can see Idris being dragged. The rest of you, you are being slowly sort of grabbed by the ankles and things like that. The difference is Idris outright attacked it first.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure if the people who failed their sanity was seeing something that we didn't see because we didn't. Okay.
No, you are all seeing this creature, and you can see this face that is barely Ruth's at all now. In fact, it's more like the image of that creature that sat on the ceiling of that elevator on the ship as its mouth drops open and reveals rows and rows of teeth all the way back.
I'm gonna help Idris beat the thing off.
Okay. What are you doing? Are you stabbing it? Are you fighting it? Are you shooting it?
I'm gonna brawl, so probably try and like stomp it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, you see Idris getting dragged away slowly and slowly into this sort of almost like dark abyss, and you can run. Well, what do you do? How do you stop it from moving effectively?
If she's being dragged by the ankles, then I'm gonna try and run ahead of where she's being pulled and just stomp, like put all my weight onto its tentacles, just jumping onto it, like die.
Yeah, you can, because you can see this is almost fully cocooned Idris as it was covering up her mouth and her eyes as well, kind of mummifying her, and you can easily jump up and down on this tentacle. You can kick it, you can find rocks, you can pick something up and you can smash into it, and it sort of stops, and Idris, you can feel your hands come free and you feel this gasp of air as it sort of comes up, like, and gives just a second of air as this tentacle drops from where your mouth is.
All right, are my legs free yet, or am I still? Okay, I get up and I like just. Bo, thank you for that very much, but there's a lot of them. So should we just start? We stomp them all? Is that how you did that?
I just trust my my ability to kick more than I do my shotgun right now, so that's why.
All right. And if I see anyone else getting grabbed, I'm like, start stomping. I start trying to, whoever's next closest to being grabbed, I start to hate stomp.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing?
I mean, I'm gonna try to spill the drink.
Roll for me.
Ruth specifically, or
Same.
the artist formerly known as Ruth. Oof.
Oh, okay.
Oof. Oof.
Okay. I'm gonna get you to make me a sanity check, please.
Yeehaw. I don't know if that's a success or not because there's a cat butt in my face.
It is a fail, I'm afraid, and you lose 3 sanity as you fire or you go to hold the gun up towards Ruth's face, or this creature's face, and it's almost like in that snake-like fashion again, the head tilts to the side and it starts to weave like a snake, and you stare into those dead eyes and you feel strangely serene. And your temporary sanity is that you no longer see your group, you just see multiple of this creature in their places. You don't see your friends in the space of Bo, Eddie, Idris, and Theodore. You see Ruth. Eddie, what would you like to do?
I'd like to try and stab Ruth with the spear again.
Okay. Could you please roll a dex check for me, please?
I'm gonna spend luck, because I have some luck.
How much luck are you spending?
I'm gonna just spend the 8 to make it a success, I think.
Okay. You can pierce on just a success. You can pierce one of the tentacles that sort of, you hear Ruth scream and sort of lose contact with Maria. Maria, you still see multiple of these creatures sort of in the place of your friends, but you see this one tentacle sort of blacken and start to shrivel up, Eddie, as this happens. Theodore, what would you like to do?
Okay. Since Edward's the one with the spear, Theodore's gonna run over beside Edward and just yell out, "You need to be the one to do it. I don't want these consequences." And he's gonna try to kind of like jump forward to clear a path for Eddie, to like hold down like the tentacle that's in front of him so that he can get a clear shot of Ruth.
I need you to roll me a might check, please.
Might.
Or
Might.
roll either one. Whichever one.
Might. You mean is strength?
Sorry, yeah, I've been playing too much Cypher System.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember putting any points into might. Hard
Yeah, you managed to. It's very difficult, but you managed to force down one of the few tentacles that are in front, and now, Eddie, you will have to move. And Theodore has sort of set the path fairly clear for you, but you will need to roll a dex next time you go to try and get close enough to the actual body of Ruth. Idris, what are you doing as you and Bo kick the bejesus out of this tentacle? You're both sat there stomping on it.
Sorry, chat just made me laugh. Turn Tequila Sister. I mean, if I see that I can help at all, I would help them, or if anyone else is getting... do I feel like I can help if I see them in their path?
The one thing I will say to help you, just like, Eddie, are you making a bolt for the main body of Ruth with the spear, or not? Yeah.
A quick above
Does
game.
Eddie want
Quick
immortality?
above board. Does anyone else who's got ideas?
That can be in-game. That can be Eddie shouting if you want.
Okay, yeah. Eddie's standing there like, what's the plan?
Can I hear this? Is like
Yeah.
a tentacle just squeaking this out?
No, you can definitely hear it, but then you can see more and more of these huge tentacles almost engulfing this doorway, coming out and reaching up, slowly engulfing this room.
I mean, whatever you did, one of the little tentacles died. So just that more, I guess.
Theodore's like wrestling this tentacle and he just moved out of the way for you. Stab it, you idiot!
I guess I'm gonna try and reach Ruth.
Okay, I need you to make a dex roll for me, and I want you to do it with a disadvantage roll.
I still made it, I think?
Roll another thing for a disadvantage roll.
Well, I rode with the black. Isn't that automatically disadvantage? Yeah.
Not come up with the... Sorry, my roll can yes, yeah. So you manage to sort of, as Theodore is holding down one of these tentacles, this other one swipes underneath you. Sort of, you are able to sort of like just miss it, almost drop to your knees and sort of slide underneath it. And you need to open the spear, because at the moment this is just a small staff. This is not fully open to its full potential. But we are going to hop back round to Bo. Bo, what are you doing?
If I got the stompy one down to like a pile of mush, which was my goal, I'm gonna go over to Ruth and put her in a chokehold.
Okay, I need you to roll me a brawl then, please.
I'm gonna do it with my advantage.
Okay.
Damn it.
You sort of run towards Ruth, and she's distracted from it. The fact that this very smartly dressed professor man is somehow holding down one of the things and allowing Eddie to sort of like slide past across the floor underneath towards her. And then at that moment, she turns and you realize you are face to face with her. And as you go to jump on top of her, this huge tentacle comes up and smacks you right in the chest and sends you to the other side, not to the other side of the room, but crashes you into the wall. And I need you to lose. Oh, hashtag 2 damage, please. And you feel this. You think you hear something crack as you can feel yourself gasp as your ribs sort of. It takes your breath away, literally, not in the best way. And you sort of hit the wall and you slide down it as you see the others move. Maria, you are still in this room. You are faced with these creatures that seem to be crawling towards you. You can't see your friends.
Can I still distinguish who Ruth is, or is everything squids?
Everything's pretty much squids and these walking mummies, things reaching out towards you and running towards you.
Is the Eye of Horus still somewhere?
It's a carving in the ground that is sort of painted gold, yes.
So it cannot be like removed or anything. I will. Shoot. If I shoot somebody, I might hit somebody, and I would probably kill somebody. I guess I'll just sort of start hitting things with the butt of the gun until stuff makes sense again.
Okay. Can you roll a might? I keep saying might. Why do I say might? Can you roll a strength for me, please? Just to see how hard you're hitting.
Hard.
Okay, let me roll to see who it is.
Yeehaw.
You see this creature sort of slide towards you, slide underneath this other tentacle, and you smash into the side of it, and the rest of you see Maria take out Eddie. And Eddie, that spear leaves your hand and clatters across the floor, and you see these tentacles starting to encroach and reach towards it.
Can I see the spear?
As soon as it leaves his hand, you see that spear clatter across the room, and those tentacles reach for it. Theodore, you've just seen Maria turn around and clock Eddie, basically across the head. And Eddie, I need you to take...
I was gonna ask, how bad did that hurt?
She put a lot of effort into that, so you lose 2 damage, and you can feel a whelp open on the side of your head as it clocks you in the head. That's more what knocks you over. And just blood sort of runs down your front, almost blurring your vision on one eye, as Maria has howled.
Ow!
It was just the gun!
Theodore, what are you doing? You've just witnessed all of this. You've seen bow thrown against one wall. You've seen Maria go and just almost take out Eddie. Idris is having a whale of a time stamping on things over there.
Where did the spear fall?
It sort of rolled off, I guess, from where you're standing to your right, if you're facing towards Eddie, keeping this thing down. And you can see it's maybe 5 feet away, so it's basically arm's reach, but there are things wrapping around it, these tentacles. You see these mummies, these things, these monsters, these almost spider-like creatures scuttling down the walls towards it as well. And you will have to let go of this other tentacle if you want to get hold of it.
Yeah, okay. Theodore is going to look at this, sigh heavily, and dive for the spear, try to wrestle it away, and he's just screaming in frustration at this.
Okay.
So
roll me a brawl or strength. You need to use disadvantage on this.
Okay, so I'll roll twice, and whichever one is worst. Okay. 1, 2. So only a success, not the extreme.
Yeah, you don't do like a power move when you're doing this. Explain how you wrestle it off of this creature as the tentacles start to wrap around it.
Okay, so I'm wrestling this one tentacle, so I am going to lean down onto it to use it as leverage to flip myself over to dive for the spear and just yank it out with all of my might while I'm just screaming in frustration.
Yeah, and you can stand and emerge basically out the tentacles with this spear, which isn't quite, again, it's not open yet, but it's in this like stuff-like shape. Are you doing anything with it? Are you throwing it, or?
I mean, I almost just asked you if it was a bonus action to activate the spear. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll do whatever it takes to make it.
And shuffle it around. Okay, you can either roll a dex for me, or you can roll a sleight of hand.
I think I'll do the dex.
Mm-hmm.
I failed.
Yeah, you stand there very much like Jonathan in The Mummy and the two things going, oh my god, why is this opening? Like, open it, as you stand there amongst all of these tentacles starting to try and open it. Eddie, what are you doing? You can feel this blood sort of dripping down the side of your face as Maria has taken you out and the spear has left your hands, but as you sort of push upwards, you could look over and see Theodore struggling with this staff, like trying to pull it from every angle and twist it.
I'm gonna try and run over to Teddy, and I'm just like, open it!
Are you trying to grab it and help open it as well?
Sure, I'll try and help.
Okay, dex or sleight of hand?
We'll go dex. It's slightly better. Oh God.
Okay. You run over and you're yelling, and Theodore, you've got Eddie running over, sort of bleary-eyed, like not really understanding what's happening, and you can see there's blood pouring down his face as he yells at you to open it. And on a fumble, Theodore, you see it last second as this huge creature jumps from the wall, almost in a spider-like fashion, limbs out, all sort of distorted, grey and broken, and it just misses you as it crashes into Eddie, sending Eddie tumbling in the other direction. And I'm going to get you to lose. You just lose one. As it crashes and sends you over to the other side of the room. Idris, what are you doing? You're witnessing all of this right now.
I don't know if Idris had like seen Maria crack him, so she just sees Eddie go flying with blood on his head, and then sees Professor Teddy struggling to like unwrap this, and I was like, good God, y'all, and just runs over as if she can, runs over to help Professor Teddy unwrap this.
Yeah, roll me a dex or a sleight of hand for me.
Can I auto success? Use my auto?
Yes, you can.
I don't trust my rolls.
You can use your auto success, and both of you and Theodore, describe to me how you two are both working this out and how you open it.
I feel like with Teddy's extreme reluctance, I feel like when she comes to grab with it, I will let go.
I'm just like,
yeah, just you can literally go, ha, and then it literally opens out into this lance, this golden lance, which, as I said before, decorated in lapis lazuli, all of these hieroglyphics and this gold. And Bo, you can see this happen. You've seen Eddie fly across the room, but you've also watched Maria attack Eddie.
Does Maria look like she's still freaking out and doesn't know who's who?
You can see Maria's like got the butt of the gun out. She's normally obviously pointing it at everything, but she doesn't seem to be taking that chance and is literally like looking around the whole room. Like she's looking at each and every one of you. You can tell that.
I want to try to snap her out of her delusion.
How would you do that?
I'll go up to her and be very gentle and say, Maria, it's me. It's the stupid idiot Bo. I've been fumbling all over the place. Don't hurt me. I just need you to wake up. We need all hands on deck here, okay? You just hurt Eddie. We need your hands on the gun, on the rifle.
Can you roll a persuade check for me, please?
Persuade. Where is it? How about a language?
Do you know what? It's the finale. If you really want to roll a language, I will let you roll a language.
It's the difference of about 70 points. So
speak French to me. Yeah, and then see if it snaps her out of it. Yeah.
Just speak in Spanish, like.
Damn it.
Yeah, you are like you've got hold of Maria as gentle as it is. You're yelling at her and Maria. You don't feel like this thing has gripped you hard, but you've got this monstrosity in front of you screaming at you, and you can feel like as if there's claws slowly digging into the side of your arms. And it is your go.
Oh, goodness. Would I be sensible to realize that if it was a monster, it would be dragging me places?
I don't know. Would you? What should we roll for that?
An int, I think?
Yeah, I think roll a straight up intelligence. Yeah. You don't see Bo in front of you, but you're slowly making the connections. You saw that gold staff leave the hand of whoever you just hit, and now you've got this person, this thing in front of you, but isn't attacking you. It isn't going for you.
I am going to roughly turn away from the thing that is holding me and shoot in the opposite direction at something.
Just shoot.
Well, I'm assuming that this thing that's not pulling me away came from the direction of where everyone else last was. So if I turn away from it, that's going to be like where stuff is coming out of the walls to us. So I'm going to shoot at something on that side.
Okay. Roll firearms for me, and Eddie, you might have to duck.
Yeah.
Can I direct her?
Okay.
She has enough sense to know that I'm not against her, and she's just gonna start taking aim blindly. I'm gonna just tilt her towards Ruth.
Okay. I need you to make either a might, Alice, like either a strength check or a dexterity check.
Okay.
Don't forget, you have advantages and auto successes. Some of you still.
Yeah, please don't shoot me.
I have an auto success, but I feel like I still am gonna need it. I'll use
You
it.
have
Fine, I'll use
advantage
my auto
too.
success. I already used my advantage.
You did. Okay. So use your auto success.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't a crit success, so you don't hit Ruth like anywhere major. Eddie, you're literally getting up as this creature is crawling off you, and you see Maria turn around and you see the barrel of this gun point towards you, and it fires. You close your eyes, but nothing hits as you see Bo sort of collide with Maria, knocking the gun sideways, and it does hit Ruth. It hits her in the shoulders, and you see this gaping hole sort of blast out, and this just, it's not even blood, it's like this black
Ichor
that sort of splats out across the wall. And now it's Theodore's turn. Theodore, what are you doing as you've backed away from Idris?
Idris has the spear. So I am going to again jump on the tentacle that I was on before, that is in between Idris now and it, and hold it down. So that it,
Roll me a strength, please, to see if you can still hold it. Ruth is getting mildly agitated now.
I wonder why.
aha!
Yeah, you managed to keep it down, and Idris, as you see this, you see sort of Theodore put all of his weight into it, pushing one of these down and giving you a clear shot of Ruth, if you so wish it. And you all do know that whoever kills it becomes immortal. Eddie, you're feeling a little bit attacked right now. What are you doing?
Wishing I had booze and cigarettes. God. I'm gonna move towards Idris, who has the spear, while pulling out my pistol and attempting to shoot Ruth.
Okay, can you roll me a thingy? What's it called? I know what I mean. It's just it says Ruth Spiller in the roll 20, so I forgot what it's called.
Spill
Can
some
you
drinks
roll
there.
a Rudy Tooty point and shooty check,
Yeah,
please?
can you
I will
roll me
try.
roll me a drink spiller, please? Okay.
I'm gonna. How do I have enough to spend? Let's math real quick.
I don't know.
Shit, what is that? 19?
19.
Oh God, fuck it. We're spending 19 luck. I have 5 luck left.
19, and as that happens, you what you aiming directly for Ruth or for some
Yeah.
of the tentacles? Okay.
Ruth.
You pull that gun out and you fire, and you hear it echo throughout the temple as it strikes her again. And Maria, you feel as if her gaze leaves you as it strikes her through the cheek and goes out the other side, and you snap out of it, and you see your friends, you see Eddie looking pretty rough. And the rest, like Bo
Chris
is
must have
maybe,
beat
like-
him up.
And Bo is sort of there, not being able to do anything, but Bo, you can definitely feel that real pain sort of bursting in your side where your ribs are. Idris, what are you doing?
If I see all this chaos is going on around me, and I'm seeing my friends just getting like knocked in the walls, like just destroyed, I'm gonna take the shot and go for it. I'm not very good at stabby things, but I'll do it.
Roll a dex for me, please.
Oh, I'm spending. Oh, I'm totally spending.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's 1.
You throw the spear of Horus, and all of you see this as it leaves Idris's hands. You hear Charlie scream, sort of standing on her shoulder, sort of holding on to her collar, and her wrist as she does, as the spear flies through, it's almost miraculously missing every single tentacle, every single one of these creatures that is throwing themselves towards you. As the spear falls through, Eddie, you feel something grab your leg. Maria, something grabs your shoulders. Bo, you can feel that pain in your ribs get stronger and stronger. And Theodore, you feel hot, and something is squeezing your hand really tightly, almost like too tight, as this gold spear pierces through this creature, through Ruth, and this scream erupts throughout this temple. So much so you will have to clamp your hands down over your ears as you feel like your eardrums would burst. And everything stops. And you're in darkness. All of you. And there's a moment of tiredness, of almost like you're drifting through water, a headachy feel, very nauseous sense. Theodore, you can feel that really tight squeeze on your hand, almost just too much, uncomfortable. And your eyes start to flicker open. You can see white everywhere. White walls, white ceiling, beds, the beeping of machines, lights. And you feel almost like a tap 7 times as you hear a flick. And if you look up to your left, you're laying in a bed. You have a cover over you. And the nurse sits there with the drip and flicks it 7 times to make sure it's going through. And adjusts it, and adjusts the measurement. And looks down at you. Oh, you're awake.
What are you doing?
Shh, calm down. It's absolutely fine. I'm just putting in your new drip for the day. It's fine. And sleeping. And you look down, and where your hand has been squeezed very tight, you see Aiden asleep. He's got you in almost like a vice-like grip with one of his hands. He is bandaged across his side and across his shoulder, but his head is asleep on your bed. Sleeping, okay? You've had a nasty toxin, okay? We needed to... She points at the drip. We've been feeding you this antidote for days now. You're going to need some rest.
Does it say in my medical chart that I'm allergic to penicillin because I am, and that will cause a very bad reaction?
Yes. Actually, he notified us first. And sort of points over to Aiden, who is snoring away.
Cute. Where are we?
You're at St. Michael's Hospital. You're
Right.
in London.
Oh, right.
You're going to feel very drowsy for a while, I'm afraid. And she sort of adjusts like the dial on the drip and again flicks it 7 times. But you're okay now, you're safe. Everything is out of your body, you are feeling weak because you have been out of it for quite a while.
What about the others?
Oh, the others, they are also recovering. He came around much sooner than you did, I was surprised. And he sort of looks down again at Aiden. You're not feeling any nausea or anything else side effects wise, and she literally just takes you by the face and starts looking in your eyes, shining a torch in your eyes and like in your ears and feeling the temperature on your forehead. But yes, rest. Either me or the doctor will be around later just to check and also check on. He won't move.
What's the doctor's name?
Well, Dr. Lockhart, Timothy Lockhart.
Okay.
Do you know him?
No, there was not a good doctor. Never mind.
Well, now that you're awake, lunch is served at 1. We will see how you're doing, see if you're capable enough, but he wants it every single time, and I'm afraid he only takes it here. He refuses to go back to his room. So if you could just let him sleep whilst he is here, and be back in a minute. I'm going to go and check on your friends, actually. And you are in like a separate room. This looks like a private room.
Okay. I'm gonna like look at the door when she leaves it to see if I can see any details.
Yeah, you can see out into the corridor. As she closes, you can see other nurses walking around. You can see other people just in general, probably visitors or something, walking up and down the halls. And Aiden just sort of snoring, like chest rising and falling very calmly next to you.
What am I wearing?
You are in your sort of, it's almost like pajamas. You can see a bow tie on the side.
Are there any personal effects anywhere else other than the bow tie?
You can
Because the
see,
first thing Theodore is going to scramble for is this little blue notebook.
I was about to say there is a little blue notebook on the side, next with a bow tie, sort of as if it's been undone and put on top.
Okay, well, I don't have use of one hand, but I'm going to try to get it with the other hand.
Yeah, you can easily reach over, it's not that far. He's mainly just holding onto the hand, it's not like he's laying on an arm or anything.
I'm going to try to flip it open with one hand.
You can flip it open.
Like try to blow pages and see.
Yeah, you can sort of do the flip and the shuffle.
What's the last thing I wrote?
The last thing you wrote is some of the notes you made on the boat.
Okay. Okay. Theodore's just really confused and is just gonna sit there, wait a little bit.
And Bo, you feel your heavy eyes start to open. You're in a hospital room, a private room. And there is a young teenage boy there, sat in a chair, your brother, Danny, feet up on the stool, sort of head in a book. And he looks over as your eyes open, he's just like, oh, you're back with us then? You know how to scare someone, you know that, don't you? muted, though.
What year is it?
Sorry, what? It's 1924. Are you alright? You've been out for a bit. I'm telling you, drinking's not good for you. Because you're a hotshot Hollywood star now, aren't you? And he sort of grins.
What are you doing here, Danny?
My brother
What
is...
am I doing here?
My brother is in hospital. I came to see if he was alright. Sounds like you ran into some awkward people and got yourself into a state, and you've been out for 7 days.
7 days?
Yeah. I arrived 4 days ago. They're great. They let me sleep in this chair and everything.
Uh-huh. Did you see any of the people I came in here with?
Oh, they said you were traveling with there was a really posh looking guy, the professor there. He's apparently in a room down the hallway. There was another guy, and then there was this woman. And he sort of looks up and down. It's just, she had a really nice accent. But yeah. How are you feeling? They said the antibiotics should take effect soon.
I think something's working on me right now, that's for sure.
Okay. Well, we'll get you out of here as soon as possible. I know you hate hospitals.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try and go for a walk. I need to get out of this room.
Yeah, sure. I mean, don't tell him I'll let you out, but like, here, and he sort of holds his hands out to help you stand effectively, and you can feel like your legs are wobbly. And he looks at you, he's like, do you want my jacket?
Yeah, sure, thanks. It's
Okay.
good to see you.
Yeah, it's really good to see you. And he sort of hesitates for a moment and then hugs you and then awkwardly stands up again. He's like, yeah, my jacket, it'll keep you warm. You've been in like blankets for the last... Just put my jacket on and I'll tell them I fell asleep and you wandered off if they come and ask.
Yeah, sounds good. And he hugs him one more time and holds on for like a little too long, and then is like,
you get that pat, like, yup. Like that pat on the back.
yeah, and then he's like, okay, I'll be back in a little bit, and I'm just gonna go for a walk and try and find everyone.
Okay. Maria, you start to wake up. You can smell a very fresh scent of like roses. And as you sort of, your body aches, you sort of look over to the side and you see a vase of flowers. You see some cards. And you look over at the empty chair at the side. There's no one else in here, but your husband's jacket rests on the back of this chair.
I would like to stand up and walk away.
You can. You get up on your feet, and it's very shaky, very, very wobbly. And you sit for a moment. And you look at these cards. You look at these flowers. You can touch this bed, this soft bed, and you can hear voices outside, very, very English voices. There's no hint of Egypt anymore or anywhere else. And over with Eddie. Eddie, you wake up and you hurt. You really hurt. You've got a splitting headache. Who knows why? but you've got a splitting headache, and you feel woozy, and you feel queasy, and for a moment it takes your eyes to adjust and to actually log what's in the room around you. Again, another private room. You see a coat on one of the chairs, and you feel a little hand on your wrist.
You awake?
As this like little hand starts like shaking your wrist, if anything. Probably not thinking how much it's probably gonna hurt or ache, but is like excitedly is now sort of like tapping you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm awake.
You're awake.
And he's like,
Mom went to get drinks and snacks because I was hungry. But you're awake. We were really worried. Mom was really worried. Are you okay?
I think I'm okay.
and she smiles and sort of like shrugs her little shoulders, and probably again forgetting that you might ache, jumps on the end of the bed and sits down. And Theodore, you sit there and you can look outside, and that same nurse comes back again and sort of moves over to you. It's like, do you mind if I move him? Like, she's got a tray of food and she's like, can I move him? Like gesturing over to Aiden. Otherwise I don't know how you're really going to eat this. You're muted, Theodore.
Such a good track record with that. No, please don't move him. I'm not hungry.
Oh, okay. Well, I will leave it on the side here, and if you don't touch it within the hour, I'll take it away again. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And Bo, at that point, you can walk past and you can see Theodore in this room. And you see Aiden asleep, holding on to Theodore's hand. Do you go in?
Yeah. I'm gonna peek in. Hey, Theo.
You see each other.
You're real. What? What?
I know you're here and Aiden's here. And have you heard about anyone else? Okay. How do you feel?
Confused.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what happened. Where we started.
I think
But-
we at least were on the boat. And I'm gonna toss him the blue notebook.
Mm-hmm. Bo, you can sit on the end of the bed and read through that notebook. See all the notes in it.
All the same notes about the staff and everything?
No, well,
Oh,
there's
that's
like
fine.
towards the end, there's like notes about the staff and notes about things that are happening. But the first almost entirety of it are like a fantasy novel.
Huh.
Wow.
Like,
Did you
Really?
write this?
terrible self-insert like fantasy novel stuff. Like, it's not very well written, I promise you.
Is this Aiden's?
Back.
Aiden's handwriting?
No, that's mine. But look in the back. It mentions the boat. We definitely were on the boat.
Right. Well, I'm going around trying to find everybody, see if they're okay. My
a
brother is here,
Thing.
and he said that some other people came with us, so not so sure this is real, but I'm gonna go make sure everyone else is here too.
I'll come with you. Hold on. And I'm going to try to disengage from Aiden.
Yeah, he's pretty out of it, but he does let go, sort of lolls his head and sort of adjusts so that he's asleep on the bed. He looks pretty bandaged up.
And then I'm gonna look at the IV cord, and I'm gonna do that thing where like you can pinch off part of it.
Yeah.
And then plunk it out of the machine.
Yeah, you can do that.
And then grab something from the plate of food, stuff it in my mouth, and stand up.
Yeah, you can grab an apple or like some bread, like a roll or something straight away.
Does it turn to sand?
You feel a nice crunch of a fresh apple.
Oh. Alright. I'll go with Bo.
Okay. You can both step out into the hallway. You're both almost probably supporting each other a little bit because you're both very weak. It feels more like tiredness rather than anything else. And you see Maria marching down this hallway. Looks pretty pissed off.
Maria!
Yes.
Are you okay? Where are you going?
I'm trying to get out of here. Or to find everyone else and then get out of here. There has to be another mirror, see?
Maybe. I don't really know if this is reality or not. But it's
I mean, I woke up and there was flowers and cards. So I don't think it's actual reality. Because I mean, it's like Charlotte said, nobody would care if we were gone, so nobody
True.
would send us anything.
But I mean, she was also a conniving bitch, so
Let's see. So are you really real?
I mean, I think I'm here. I have a splitting headache and I can barely stand, but I think I'm here, wherever this is. But I'm looking for everyone else too, and Theo's here and Aiden's here.
Where's Edward? Do you know where Edward is? Did you see Edward?
Do you know where Idris is?
No.
My tequila sister? And do I have like the portable IV thing?
You can do. You can take it with you on a stick if you want. Another
Yeah.
thing on a stick for this campaign. So.
I just want to like bang it real loud into the wall of this hospital and just yell out for Eddie and Idris and Charlie.
You can like smash this thing into Silas Hospital when a nurse walks past, like, please, and keeps walking as you after you've done that.
Just kind of impulsively grip where my gun usually is and glare.
There's nothing there. Eddie, you can hear something like a ruckus going on in the corridor outside, and you definitely hear Maria's voice.
Eddie, Idris, Charlie.
I'll climb out of the bed and take my IV with me like everyone else.
Shuffling along, yeah.
And I'll leave my hand over for Rebecca.
Yeah, she sort of runs to it and takes it and follows you out. Sort of every now and then with the wire, she's like, careful, like just moving it out of the way so you don't trip over it or anything.
Eddie?
Anybody that gives us like a weird look, I'll just kind of like hiss at them like, oh, shut up, you're probably not real.
Yeah, yeah. It's like every now and then you get a nurse that is like, keeps walking.
So Eddie's with us now?
Yeah, Eddie, you can poke your head out and you can see Maria basically like launching this thing at one of the corridors.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he heard her yell, he like leaves the room and walks towards where he heard the sound.
Yeah, you can all meet up, like congregate in this hallway, And Rebecca is there, and she waves at all of you.
Hi.
When Theodore sees Eddie, he kind of lights up a little bit and walks a step towards him, but then sees the little girl and kind of backs up.
Yeah, the little girl looks up at Eddie, is like,
Are these your friends?
Yeah, they're my friends.
Oh. Hello, I'm Rebecca.
and puts like a little hand out to shake.
Do you know where the other mirror is in this place?
They've got loads of mirrors in the bathroom.
No, you know the big ones.
Or have you seen the monkey?
Daddy, what are they talking about?
Like, is it again like this kid looks up at Eddie?
He squeezes her hand and just looks down at her. Why don't you go wait for me back in the room?
Okay. And she sort of glares at Theodore, like out of like not understanding why this person's asking about mirrors, and sort of
Gonna glare right back.
Yeah, you both glare at each other as you walk back to the room.
Daddy.
She's not your daughter.
Theodore is so fucking dumb. It's like, I'm done. Flip the table. I'm out.
I mean, maybe this is, we are dead, and this is what they think is either hell. I mean, you have a kid, or heaven for you.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Idris!
I see. I tried that already.
I'm gonna start
Idris!
opening doors.
Yeah, you can start opening doors, and you see some patients like, "Do you mind?" As you sort of like make some people jump. And as you're all sort of like banging on the walls and making this commotion, you a doctor and a nurse come down the corridor towards you and goes, "You all need to be in bed, okay?" And you turn around, and you are faced with Charlotte in a nurse's uniform and John Cooper in a doctor's uniform.
I want to whack Charlotte with my IV pole.
Yeah, closest sharp object.
Yeah.
And I am gonna push John up against the wall.
Yeah, you can do that. You can push them up against the wall. You see Charlotte panic, like, okay, there's no need to panic.
Oh, I am attempting to spill the drink. I want to bean her upside the head as hard as I can with this.
Roll me a brawl, please.
Yeah, so Maria will go to prison for Idris. She does not even care.
Yeah, you are too weak. It's almost like you can't do anything with it. It's like she's just like, she catches the idea. It's like, it's all right. I know things are very confusing right now.
Where'd you put Idris?
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm very sorry.
Idris Hall? She has a monkey?
I don't know anyone with a monkey. We don't allow animals in the hospital.
We heard your plan. You poisoned us because we're expendable, right?
See, because no one loves us. But I will have you know, I got flowers and many cards in my room.
We have given you antibiotics, that is all.
What did we need
Please.
them for in the first place?
You all had an infection.
Caused by?
Well, we're unsure yet. And as she says that, she does this. As a mosquito lands on her neck. And Idris, your eyes flicker open as you can hear a crashing and a banging, and you hear your name called. Almost like an echo from somewhere. You hear Maria's voice. You hear Theodore's voice. And you blink open. And you stare out. Lots of people. from a glass case. As you're preserved forever, for all time, as a mummy in the British Museum for everyone to visit. And a small mummified monkey was found in your sarcophagi next to you. And that's where we'll leave Call of Cthulhu.
Oh my god!
Mummified.
Twice, Paige. I had to make it happen.
I knew. I was like, I'm not getting godhood. I'm becoming a mummy. I knew it.
I had to do it because it was you that did it. I had other options, but it was you that did it.
Charlie didn't ask for this, okay, y'all?
Charlie was holding onto her arm as she threw it.
Oh, Charlie, I'm so sorry. I imagine there's a spicy Timmy in a case next to
There's
Idris.
probably a spicy Timmy somewhere, not a sweet Timmy. So, thank you, everyone, for being a part of this awesome campaign. It's my first ever Call of Cthulhu campaign, and it's so great to have such an amazing group like this. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on the Discord. We love the support. We love all of it. I'm so excited. And I just had so much fun with this campaign, and I'm really going to miss this group. I really, really am, because I love this so much. Otherwise, please check out all the links that are coming up in chat now. It includes where you can find us, how you can support us, also YouTube, where this will be uploaded very soon, and you can catch up on it. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm and also Mage Hand Press, who we couldn't do this without. And please check out these lovely people here in this game. They're amazing. Please go and follow them and look at what they do. Otherwise, keep evoking emotions, and we'll see you next season. Bye.
Looks like we got a new friend!